This side here saying it won't kill. What's this side? Yo, fam, more and more, I swear, you ninjas is showing how much you hate a successful ninja. Like y'all really hate successful ninjas. Let me tell you something more. I think again, people are very, very naive about how people think of people who are talented, people who are ahead, people who for the most part, it's kind of like the American way to always see someone who does the work and has the accolades as the opposition, especially black people. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to this point again. For the most part, you ninjas associate everything that's good with whiteness. And so when it comes, like, for example, if you're black, at some point, especially if you ain't if your nigga nucleic acid is not very high, at some point you've had someone tell you that you trying to talk white or you sound white. Like, I never forget when I first came to the hood. Now, middle school in itself is a very intense experience, but when you go to the hood, middle school, like the social atmosphere is on steroids. It gets turned all the way up. Like it's like you on you. Matter of fact, like going to middle school in the suburbs, which is already difficult, it's like going on a hike. All right, and it's a long hike. You might can get lost. Going to school and middle school in the hood is like being in Jumanji and they shooting. Very intense experience. But I never forget when I first came there, the homies were trying to look out for me. You know what I mean? Because there was also like basically other like black kids that have pretty low nigga nucleic acid, meaning that they had good families and whatnot. But it was like, listen, you not niggerish enough. You know what I mean? And they told me I sounded white. And at the time I'm like, oh damn, shit, I don't know, I don't want to be a target, so put me on, right? But with this whole Drake and Kendrick situation, like more than ever, I realized that y'all associate everything good with whiteness. We associate good credit with whiteness. We associate how can I say, okay, again, we said speaking properly, pretty much and also we associate success and authority with whiteness. Which is why so whenever people ascend, the higher up someone goes, the more they become an authority. So in hip hop in general, no matter how we call it, Drake is an authority. All right, because Drake is the one who said yes to a lot of ninjas, and he's the reason why you know who they are today. So many of your favorites have gotten the Drake stimulus package. Big Sean, J. Cole, your boy Kendrick, which is wild. And Drake gave the Kendrick stimulus package multiple times. I think he might have got the biggest Drake stimulus package. Pause. Right, but the list goes on. Future, Metro Boomin, I believe. I think I mentioned Cole, The Weeknd, Lil Baby. He got tracks with the baby. There's so many records. Also artists from outside the country, all over the world. There's always so many people that he done gave looks to. I gotta realize if Drake does a majority of his records with black artists, and those black artists go on to put other people on and make money, that's a lot of people getting fed from the boy. All right. But anywho, somehow, one way or the other, people choose to ignore that. And that's what you got to realize, if you want to be a good person, a big part of being a good person is that life doesn't get easier, and you're not going to be getting credit on a regular basis for being a good person. Because again, as human beings, it's our nature to self-sabotage and also sabotage others. Because we got to realize when someone is excellent, we got to kind of shoot them down a little bit, because that means that if you acknowledge their greatness, you won't have to do some work. It's like, when we see a dude that's really in shape or someone who's really in shape, we usually try. You may give them respect, but you'll look for a flaw in them. You look for them to have a problem, and you'll use it to not so much diminish, but downplay their work or make them more human. We humanize them. Like, oh, you probably on that stuff, you on gear, or damn, I would never want to eat like that, or this, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Or like, I think dude's favorite thing to say about guys that's in shape is that, he can't fight, or maybe he broke. And that may be the case. But at the same time, that dude still has something that you want. And if I could snap my fingers and you could be built like that, that's you wouldn't say, nah, I'm good. I'll go on, not looking in mirrors, you know, in the morning and evening. You know what I mean? But anywho, so going back to what we associate with whiteness and blackness, right? So, but blackness, right? And that's why I learned being around niggas. Because again, as a battle rapper, you know what I mean? I've been around so many different types of niggas, right? And I come to realize, you know what? And when it comes to hip hop, right? I say it's 3 secret ingredients. That's why it's hard for someone who's not black to be good at hip hop, right? And it's ghetto, grit, and soul. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say ghetto, grit, and soul, it's not so much that anyone could do it, but anyone can understand that. So if you can build up that grit, that roughness, right? You know what I mean? The unorthodox, the unpolishedness, you know what I mean? The souls, when you really mean something, that comes from your heart. You find something that means something to you. You know what I mean? Ghetto, culture. For like what you need with your raps, whenever you rapping, it has to be full of a lot of content, whether it's the content from your thoughts, or but what makes this is what makes like street rapping, or street dudes sound more like hip hop is because a lot of times they're street stories and they hood stories, or the way they're able to paint the scene of what goes on in the hood. That's what makes their verses sound complete or sound like this is hip hop. You know what I mean? So when I say ghetto, it's more so about acknowledging the culture. And I always say, you can't really make good rapping if you don't respect the streets. Meaning you got to acknowledge the hood and acknowledge the street, and you got to have some of that lingo in there. You got to have a little gun talk, a little stick talk, a little violence in there. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk some shit. You know what I mean? You need all those different elements for it to be a good, a good record. But hold on, before I keep cooking, before I keep going and doing what I'm doing. Oh my God, where my man? It's the 6 Paps Commandments. 6 Paps Dice here. Mr. Lane, if you need me. Bro, the work don't stop. It don't matter where I'm at. Always getting to work, beloved. You understand? It's going to be times, right, where you're going to have to resist your temptations, resist the feeling when you want to give up on something. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be times where you want to have to be able to resist, right? And resist doing the things that's going to keep the work going, no matter where the work keeps going, no matter what. All right. Whenever you get into a mental state where you feel like that's not worth doing, that's the devil. And you gotta say no. I'm gonna keep doing the work. That's why you gotta have different things for yourself to do to keep your mental health where it needs to be at, so the work don't stop. You understand? But anywho, if you enjoying the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. We're gonna go ahead and cook up a little more. So what we talking about today is mostly the situation with why they robbing Wayne. I said, oh my God, hide the babies, hide the goats, hide your top fives, hide your legends. They robbing everybody out here. So it's been announced that that Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining the next Super Bowl, or I'm sorry, performing at the next Super Bowl halftime show. Shout out to Kendrick, congratulations, and and everything. I'm happy for him, but it's really interesting how people have taken the opportunity to make this a weird moment. Because again, this is one of those instances where it's very interesting to see how black people and people of color have processed this whole situation, and especially from this comment right here. Let me go ahead and read it for you. So Larisha, around with Keisha, says, kind of comforting to know that no matter how bad of a day you might be having, Kendrick Lamar is going to make sure that Drake is having a worse one. I want to read a comment that I think really stands out, and it says, it is so fucking weird to me the way we are supporting colorism and false accusations of such a serious nature is literally gross. So what she's talking about is the basically, for the most part, the Not Like Us record is, again, don't get me wrong, I think it's a good pace. It's a good sounding tune for the most part. But it's interesting that for the most part, in the beginning of the battle, Kendrick's angle was about being a better person and having a moral high ground, and how basically that Drake's a piece of crap and you have no morals and you have no honor. And then towards the end of the battle, when he's not really getting the energy that he needs, and he's not really winning the battle, because again, he wasn't expected to be in the battle. But what does he do towards the end to try to win the battle? He gets as low vibrational as possible and it dumbs it all the way down for you niggas, right? Which is fine. Listen, I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do to win, all right? But what's interesting is that, again, no matter what, making the argument of not like that, he's not like us. First of all, it's extremely disingenuous just for the fact that all the people who are dissing Drake, we know them because of Drake, and all their biggest hits come from Drake. If you go to one of their shows and they don't play Drake records, aside from a few niggas, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you're not going to hear no hits, or not as many hits, i.e. a Rick Ross. All right. People want to hear that Aston Martin music, bro. You understand? They want to hear them Dice Pineapples. They know what I'm saying? They want to hear that joint from Take Care. You understand? They want to hear them Khaled records. That I'm on one. That's what they want to hear when you go up there. If you Future. Even people want to hear the Future and Drake records, bro. All right. But at the end of the day, all the people that's dissing him, like, yo, almost everyone you know today, they're famous or they're popping, or you've maybe first heard them because of Drake. All right. So, but another thing that's interesting is the concept of someone. Let me tell you something. Never sleep on when someone's attacking you. So the fact that this person actually wrote that is comforting to know that no matter how bad of a day you're having, Kendrick's going to make sure that Drake has a worse one. I'm like, y'all got to realize that. And this is how unsuccessful people think. Unsuccessful people don't really understand how successful people actually think. So you think that he's gotten to that level of success? Drake he's been, it's 2024. So Far Gone came out in 2009. You think that all these years later, with all this man's success, that you think it really bothers him for Kendrick to have a little bit of success, or to have a moment? But no matter what, facts still remains. That boy ain't put out no hits. Drake put out about 5 hits. Circadian Rhythm, that's fire. The SOD record, that's one of the records of the summer. His verse on the BBL Drizzy shit, you know what I'm saying? Fire. Oh, what else? The No Face shit. I've had all this shit on repeat, my nigga. He got this shit with Lil Durk. Fire. All right, and like really enjoyable tracks. I honestly be real with you, like, yo, I'll become a Drake fan again, honestly. Not that I stopped being a fan, but it's like Drake is so good at making music that it's after a while, it's like, I think can I see you next year? Because Drake is always working, bro, and I got give him his credit. Yo, the niggas stay working, the niggas stay putting product out. But also, I had to realize that, yo, when you get to a certain point, people are not going to relate to you anymore, especially when you're a winner. People don't really like relate to winners, which is why it's important that if you are a winner, you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that people are not going to understand you, right? And sometimes they may not be able to even understand the feelings they may have about you in particular. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I always say, whenever people are around someone who of a higher caliber, it holds them to a higher standard, right? And it makes them question themselves, especially if you're not strong in your faith and also your sense of who you are. You feel me? So I want to go ahead and also go back to the some more clips that not really clips, but basically just a word from Birdman and a word from Nikki. Now this has a lot of curse words. It's kind of weird, and I'm not sure what order this stuff goes in, but here we go. Actually, no. So we'll read this first one. So Nikki says, one ninja took a knee, the other ninja took the bag. He said he gonna get you ninjas. He gonna get you he gonna get you ninjas in line every effing time. All right, so I know one part is for Kaepernick. I'm not sure what she's talking about, but anywho, and we got another one. So because it says by the way, that's why I'm reading this twice. But I'm reading a second. But I did read this tweet first. So this one says, and by the way, you don't know half of what Lil Wayne has done for me and others. Wayne had Drake and I on tour with no papers signed. He was on all of my mixtapes with no paper sign. This man has literally changed the face of hip hop. The hair too. No, word. You're right about that. If you know, you know. He inspired so many to tap their faces and get locks. I mean, that wasn't the best day for black folks, but anywho, um, he inspires your faves to want to be a great MC. He's never been in this for the money. It's always been for the love of music. Someone has is that like salt? I guess that's salt. I don't know what it is. So let's read a few comments. Uh, People keep talking about vulgar music by Wayne. Besides the fact that a lot of his music made radio, Wayne can't get little. Sorry, I'm sorry. It says Wayne can get on stage and freestyle. They sleep for not choosing the best rapper alive. I'm not sure why old boy said this, but he said, "I love you, Nikki, but shut up." Uh, Now before y'all go in on Wayne, let's not forget that Dr. Dre hosted the Super Bowl. Mr. Chronic himself. Y'all telling me his music or image is for family? He bought out a whole range of artists to carry the show. Wayne would have done the same. They didn't want Nicki or Drake there. That show would have been crazy. Instead, they get the other West Coast artists to perform. That whole year thrived on dissing Drake. What why y'all only take woke sometimes? What? If it was rap, it should have been South artists. Period. They have never based the Super Bowl over who had the biggest hit of the year. Stop it. Someone else says, I don't think the Super Bowl is thinking about Lil Wayne as an artist. I think they're going off analytics and what artists can keep the attention on the Super Bowl. And right now, Kendrick has all eyes on him lately. Thoughts? All right, so let me go ahead. Oh yeah, all right. So we also heard from Birdman. Then I'm gonna go ahead and react a little bit. All right. So Birdman said these ninjas is PUSSY, I guess. And Nicki Minaj and Drake and Lil Tucci, YMCMB. I make these ninjas respect us on Gladys. He said, hey, and it's for real. Um, so I see somebody wrote pretty much like what people think this is all about. Only reason why everybody mad is because it's Jay-Z. If it was normal NFL people, nobody would care. But since this is a black guy in charge, folks want to rebel and ignore the fact that Jay helped pay Wayne $14 million tax bill. That's why you don't randomly help people, because once they don't got what they want, they forget it all. Yo, we gotta write this stuff, man. You know what? Somebody wrote Wayne probably high as fuck at home, not knowing what the fuck going on. But nah, hold on a second, man. I think I want to comment on that, because honestly, be real with you, a lot of people are saying that this is a decision by Jay, and that Jay, and don't get me wrong, Jay doesn't have a speculative history of blocking opportunities for other artists. So people were saying that he didn't want 50 at the other Super Bowl show and whatnot, because you know they're talking about the one with Dr. Dre. So people were saying that, or it was said that he didn't want 50 to be there, but 50 wound up performing anyway, right? Now, and when it comes to Wayne, now with 50, I kind of understand that a little more, because I mean, because 50 did kind of 50 has always trying to use Jay to kind of take shots, or try to make Jay sound crazy, or talk about Jay in a way where it's like, what 50 would kind of seem to one is, or what it seemed like, is that he would say things in interviews that would make him have to respond and make him have to acknowledge him. Like, for example, there was a time where when 50 had commented on Lil Mama coming on stage while Jay was performing, 50 had said in the interview, it's not that comfortable on stage, or I don't make it a kind of environment where it feel like you can hop on stage with me, right? And what he was saying was the things he was saying without saying it, which is basically, people know not to do that if I'm performing. All right, 50, fair enough, good enough, right? But he was implying that basically you soft, right? And at some point, I forgot, it was some interview, and Jay was like, listen, no one is scared of 50 Cent, right? And 50 in some other interview response saying, yeah, he said that because he felt as though I was making him seem like a punk, was the point. So you kind of see this whole dynamic of like 50 always kind of saying things, kind of being like disrespectful, taking shots. And anyone who is a hip hop head knows that back in the day, 50 was dissing Jay, you know what I mean? And I don't think he eaved at him, but back then, when someone dissed you on an album, when someone of a high stature like Jay dissed you, like people were even more easily influenced. You understand? But so there's something there. Now with Wayne and Jay never really had problems. I didn't really understand. It wouldn't really make sense because there's no history of Jay blocking, or stopping Wayne from making any types of moves. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing like that. Actually, Jay has a few records with Wayne. You know what I'm saying Jay put Wayne on American Gangster. Jay was on the Carter. I feel like him and Wayne got something more recently, but it don't come to mind right now. But Jay has done records with Wayne and has acknowledged Wayne as one of the best several times, and Wayne always gives Jay his flowers. You understand? But I think Nemi made an interesting point about how people look at things when black folks are in charge. So don't get me wrong. I think a part of this is that NFL is going with who they think is the most popular. And I think, but the key statement was who's going to keep the attention on the Super Bowl, because people want to see whether or not he's going to come in and perform that record. But the thing about Not Like Us is that that's not really a record. Again, it is because of what the Super Bowl is. I'm like, it's not really a record you could perform at halftime because of the stuff you're saying. Like it's like literally like a record talking about somebody being a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like these are serious allegations, right? And again, the whole argument of whether or not this guy's black or not, and whether or not he has a black card. Listen, Drake's black card has never been called into question, especially when he's making niggas money. You understand? And for anyone out there that's doing anything, you got to understand this is what it's going to be when you do for people. If you want to do for people, do it out the goodness of your heart. But you cannot expect people to be grateful. I mean, or to acknowledge all the good you've done. Especially when it's inconvenient. You understand? Like you're gonna lose every time. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and probably address the NLE Chopfish thing in a separate video. I know I didn't mention at the beginning, but yeah, man. So I just want to do a quick little video on that, man. You enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. How do you feel about Lil Wayne not being a part of the halftime show next year? And Kendrick being the basically the main event and all that, and whether or not and why is it do you think people want Drake to be bothered, even though Drake has not done or said anything that says that he's bothered? And also, like, what's your relationship with people who are successful? And do you think that people who are successful are hated? And what's been your experience with maybe being hated on? Let me know. I'll be here. Okay. Please like, share, and subscribe, man. Hope y'all be safe. Peace.